Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Subie World video. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year. So today we're going to be going over the settings on the 3.1 Starlink Radio that Subaru just released. We're going to go over things such as the Wi-Fi hotspot and setting up aux gain and mic gain and what those do. A lot of people, it doesn't tell you in the settings, so we're going to go through that and just kind of explain what every little detail in the settings menu does control. So I hope this helps. If you have any suggestions or would like me to go over anything in particular outside of what's covered in this video, leave a comment in the section below and I'll address it and respond to you as quick as I can. But let's jump right in. So here we are on the Starlink 3.1 setting menu. And one of the first things you're going to want to probably set up is going to be your driver profile. The reason for this is once you have one driver profile set up, anytime that person's phone connects to the car through Bluetooth, it's going to automatically pull up the rest of their settings for the rest of this menu. So you go into here, you add a new profile, enter a name, and then it's going to ask you to pair a phone, the very next step after this. So make sure your phones aren't paired. After that, it's going to ask you to set up a wallpaper and then confirm all the settings and save them. Once, like I said, that person's phone connects to the radio, it will automatically pull up all their settings that they've set up in the rest of this. So very, very helpful for multi-driver vehicles. Brightness adjustment. If you have it set to auto, the screen will automatically get a little bit darker when the headlights turn on. If you have it set to manual, it's going to give you the option to use the dial on the driver's side of the dashboard to adjust the brightness of all the interior lights at any point. And then display screen. You can turn this entire screen on and off simply just by pressing that right there. To turn it back on, just come down here to the volume and push it. VR help screen. Now when you push the push to talk button on the left side of the steering wheel and you want to give it a voice command such as call so-and-so or tune this radio station to so-and-so, if you want it to continue to give you templates to help guide you on what you can tell it to do, you're going to want to leave this on. Home screen shortcuts. You can set up Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and FM station shortcuts. If you want to continue to be able to do that, you're going to want to leave that on. And then Wi-Fi. If you're going to be connecting to, say, your home's wireless network so that you can do radio updates, you're going to want to turn this on. Then go back here to the settings and locate your network in the list and connect to it. Now I've already connected to Subaru Guest so that it was already done, and I can show you that from here you can scroll down and do checking for updates. So you can check for updates, which I've already done and it didn't find any. But in the event that you did have a new update, you could automatically download it once you have your Wi-Fi connected. So that's this. That's the Wi-Fi settings. Now Wi-Fi hotspot's something completely different. You can go to AT&T and for $20 a month you can subscribe to turn your vehicle basically into a driving hotspot. And that way anybody who gets into your vehicle, they can just connect to the car's data plan and use the car's internet. Wi-Fi hotspot settings is where you're going to go to change your car's Wi-Fi SSID or network name. So if you wanted to change it to My Cool Subaru's Wi-Fi, you could do that. That way anybody getting into your vehicle knows exactly which network that they should be connecting to. You can change the password or the security type for the password and then change the password and monitor which devices are connected, along with changing the broadcast frequency. Auto show connected devices. Basically, when you plug in a USB flash drive or a iPod, it would automatically pop up and show you the media that's available on that device. And then USB device automatically play is the same thing. When you plug in an iPod or any USB device that has media on it, the last thing playing will automatically start playing again where it left off. SiriusXM settings. So here you can come and find all what you're subscribed to. And then if you're not subscribed to anything, you can also come down here to the bottom of the screen and you'll find the 1-800 number in which you'd have to call to subscribe to Starlink or to SiriusXM subscription. Now, Tune Start. When you go to a XM radio station, if it's in the middle of a song and you have Tune Start active, it will automatically actually backtrack to the beginning of that song so that you don't miss out on whatever you tuned into. And then Sports Flash. When you set up your favorite teams with SiriusXM, if they make a big play and you're doing something else like listening to radio or not even paying attention to them, a pop-up will come up on this radio and kind of tell you about the big play they just made. Just some pretty cool features. System language. You have 3 choices for languages that we can change between. And then rear camera timeout. What this means is that when you're putting it in reverse, the backup camera is going to automatically turn on. But then when you put it back into drive or park, for example, it would automatically instantly turn that backup camera off. But if you turn this system on, you can then tell it to leave the camera on after you've put it back into park or drive for an additional 6 seconds, just to make sure that you know exactly what's going on back there. I've left it on so that, I can just tell. I've got dogs and cats in my neighborhood, and if I put it into park and then go to throw it back in a drive again, it just gives me uninterrupted coverage of what's going on back there. Automatically check for updates. Pretty self-explanatory. When you have this system turned on, when you come home and if you're in range of your Wi-Fi network, it's automatically going to look for updates for the radio. And then automatic download updates, pretty self-explanatory again. When you get home, if you have the Wi-Fi network connected and there is an update, it'll automatically download it for you. System information will tell you which version of Starlink radio is installed on the car. That way you can make sure you're up to the current version. And then change device Bluetooth name is exactly how it sounds. So when you go and want to connect to your Bluetooth, you're going to be looking for Subaru BT. But if you wanted it to show up as my Subaru's Bluetooth or your name and the Bluetooth, you could change this to whatever you wish, just for easier finding. Factory data reset. If you go to sell the vehicle and you want to get rid of all your personal info, this is where you're going to come to reset all your data. It's going to take about a minute and then it's going to power cycle through and turn the radio off and back on. Once it's back on, all your information is gone. And then software licenses, pretty self-explanatory, going over the rules and regulations that you can do. Sorry about that. Oh man. There we go. Software licenses. So your license agreement, your user agreement, you can go through and read that. Now sound. Sound we've kind of been over once before. Your equalizer and your sound position we've looked at in my previous video going over this radio in general. But here it is again. Little redundancy. Entertainment volume. If you want the inputs through Bluetooth or CD or auxiliary to be a little bit louder than the radio, you can adjust that volume here. Aux volume gain. If you plug in an aux device such as a tape player, and the tape player is extremely quiet, you can turn it up here. Or say you plug that tape player in and it's extremely distorted. You can also turn it down here so that it maybe undistorts. play with that based on your findings with your devices. But another key tip is whenever you're plugging something in through aux or through Bluetooth, you should have the volume turned up to 100% on that device and then control the volume through the radio. This will give you the clearest sound quality. Microphone volume. Microphone volume, same thing. If you're making a phone call and somebody's complaining they can't hear you or that you're extremely loud, this is where you're going to come to adjust that. Phone volume at the top. Phone volume is exactly how it sounds. If you want to adjust the volume of the person you're talking to through the speakers, you can either change it by hitting the volume button here or going here and click and dragging. That's pretty self-explanatory, but we'll move on and go to ringtone volume. Ringtone volume is basically when when somebody's calling you and the car is playing the ring through the speakers, how loud you want that to be. Speech and voice recognition volume. So when she responds to you and tells you, yes, I understood, or no, I didn't understand, this is where you go to change how loud she is. Alert sounds, basically for any types of emergency warnings that come through the radio or whatnot, those are going to be on. And then beep sounds. Anytime I touch something on this touchscreen, it gives me a feedback beep. If you want to turn that off, just come to this screen and shut it off. Phone we've already been through on my previous one, pairing a phone. And then vehicle. Clock adjustment, you're going to want to keep it to manual. I've set it to auto, and the benefit to auto is that it's supposed to sync up with your phone's Bluetooth or your smartphone through Bluetooth and automatically set the clock. But I have not had that happen in the past couple years. Ever since, I'd say like the 2017 Impreza. After that, it hasn't been working properly with most phones. So most people are going to leave this manual, and then depending on the vehicle you have, there are custom different clock settings to change your clock. Interior lighting. Basically, when you shut the vehicle off, how long do you want the interior lights to stay on? You can adjust that to whatever you choose. Keyless entry system. Audible signal. Basically, whenever you hit the remote, do you want the vehicle to give you any feedback that it received the signal that you wanted to lock or unlock? Driver door unlock. When you come over to the driver's door and you reach into the handle, it automatically unlocks if you have keyless access. While if you have it at default settings, it'll only unlock the driver's door. But if you wish, you can change it to all doors. Same thing with the rear gate. When you approach the rear gate, do you want it to unlock just the rear gate or all doors? And then hazard warning flash. When the vehicle's parking lights will blink when the locking or unlocking of the door. So do you want the hazards to blink when you lock or unlock the door? I find that very useful because it really helps you find your car from across the parking lot. Auto door lock is for when you get up to speed. Do you want the door to lock, or do you want it to go and lock when you get out of park and into drive? Or you can disable this system altogether. Auto door unlock, same thing. When you park the car, do you want it to come out of lock, or when the ignition is off, or when the driver's door is open? The defogger can either be run for 15 minutes or continuously. That's going to be your back windows, your side mirrors, and your wiper blade sill. Welcome lighting on and off. So when you approach or leave the vehicle, how long do you want the time to be set? One touch lane change is for your turn signal. If you have it on, you don't have to fully engage your turn signal. You can just tap it and it'll flash 3 times. And then the auto light headlight sensor. When do you want the headlights to turn on and off? You can play with this setting in your garage or your driveway to see what setting is best for you. And that pretty much wraps it up. So it's pretty simple. I mean, sure, it's a little complicated at first, but once you go through it and understand what everything's for, it's very intuitive, very simple. I really applaud Subaru and the great changes that they've made to their radio system. If you came into Subaru 4 or 5 years ago, their technology was totally different, extremely not intuitive. Let me just put it that way. Not intuitive at all. And the changes they've made are dramatically different and way improved. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe, as I'm going to be doing more videos when they make changes to other things and new Subarus come out. So if you would like me to go over anything or have any questions about something I didn't fully explain here in the video today, just let me know, put it in the comments section below. But thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye now.